Hello everyone, it's Jason here today with a Kids in Motion activity. So this one's going to be a little different than some of the Kids in Motions we've done in the past. But we're going to talk about one of my absolute favorite sports, which is bowling, and I'm going to show you a little game that we can play at home. I know that we don't have a bowling alley here in Seymour now, but if you ever go bowling, it's a fun game. So first thing I'm going to teach you is the pins. So each pin in bowling is actually numbered. So when you go, the first pin is the 1 pin. Then the next one that goes behind is the 2 pin. Then the 3 pin, like that. Then I bet you can guess. 4 pin. Then we have the 5 pin that goes in the middle. And the 6 pin. Then we have the back row, which is the 7, 8, 9, and 10 pin. So again, this one here, the front pin is the 1 pin. This one over here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Those are how the pins are numbered. So in bowling, the pins are actually 1 foot apart from each other, believe it or not. So each pin is actually a foot apart from each other in real bowling. And the lane is actually 60 feet long, and the bowling ball is about 8.5 inches in diameter. So you could possibly throw a bowling ball right between 2 pins because they're spaced out apart. So that's a little bit of the basics of bowling, a little bit of knowledge of bowling. So I'm also going to teach you, I'm going to set these pins up over here first, because I'm going to show you my little game that you can play at home in a minute. So bowling pins are always set up in a triangle. Like that. So I'm going to talk a little bit about keeping score. Most of the bowling alleys nowadays will keep score for you automatically, but I'm just going to teach you how to keep score just for the fun. So if we roll a ball and we get 9, we write 9 down in our first box. And then in bowling you get 2 balls each frame or each turn. So we knock down 9, then we throw the next one and we get 0. So then there's a little box inside of our box, and we can just put a line, or you can write 0. I don't know if you can see that. I hope you can. So then we have 9 as our score in the first frame, or our first turn. So our next turn, say we get 8. So we write 8 up by our little box, in our little box, and say this time we pick the 2 pins up, which is called a spare. So we make a diagonal line in our little box, and we shade the bottom half in. Hopefully you can see that in this top row right here. Right here. So what happens when you get a spare, you don't add that yet. You wait until you throw your next ball on your next turn. So you throw your ball on your next turn and say we get 7. So now we have to add the 7 to the 8 and spare, which is 7 plus 10, which is 17. Then we add the 17 to our first frame, that we got 9, which will give us 26. I know that's a little confusing. So on the spare, you add 10 pins plus your next ball to your already total. Then say on our second turn, or on our second ball on turn 3, we miss. So now we just simply add that 26 that we have to the 7. You guys know what 26 plus 7 is? 33. Like that. Then on turn 4, say we get a strike. So if you get a strike, you don't get a second ball. You don't get a second ball on that turn. And you just make an X in the little box up there. And then you don't add anything because you get the total of your next 2 balls. I know that sounds confusing. So on your next turn, let's say you throw 5 and 4. So you just write down the 5 and the 4 down there like I have. And now we have to add that 5 and the 4 and the strike to our already total. So 5 and 4 is 9, plus 10 is 19. Then we add 19 to 33, which is 52. Then we add that 52 to our 9 count, which is going to be 61. So that's just a little quick lesson on how to score. So you only get 10 turns in bowling. So how is it possible that you get 300? I'm going to show you. So a 300 means you throw a strike every ball. So we're going to mark X's in all our frames. So we get to turn 10 and we throw a strike. But if you throw a strike in the 10th frame, you get another ball. So we strike there. And if you strike again, you get another ball. Or if you spare, you get an extra ball. So now, because you add all these 10s together, and remember that you get the next 2 balls on your strike. So in the first frame, you would have 30, because you add the next 2 strikes. Then the next one, you would have 60, then 90, then 120, 150, 180, 210, 240, 270, and 300. That's how you get 300, because on a strike, you get your next 2 balls. So you're adding 30 pins every time if you strike. So that's how you bowl a 300. I have never shot 300. I have come close. I've shot 290, which is 1 strike away, and 289, which is 1 strike away. So it's very hard to do. So now let's get into our game. So what I have here is our little bowling pins that I made out of toilet paper rolls. You can use bottles, you can use whatever you have laying around. Then I made some little pin cards, and on each of these pin cards I've written down different kinds of exercise. So hold on just a second and I'll show you how we play. So what we're going to do is take the ball and we're going to roll our ball from one end of the table to the other. If you have bottles and a basketball, you can fill up the balls with a little bit of water and set them on the ground and use a basketball or a volleyball or whatever you have. I'm just showing you this because I don't have a lot of room here at the library to show you a big game. So this is a fun little game you can play inside if you like bowling. So I'm going to take my ball and I'm going to roll it and try to knock down as many pins as I can. So I knocked down 3 pins. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to draw one of my cards with an exercise on it and see what it has on there. Jumping jacks. So now, because I knocked down 3 pins, I have to do 3 jumping jacks. So I'm going to come over here and just do 1, 2, 3 jumping jacks. And then you're going to move the pins that you knocked down out of the way because you get 2 balls. And you're going to roll another ball. We're going to roll another ball and see how many pins you knock down this time. 3 more. And draw another card out of your pile. Run in place with knees high. So I'm going to run in place for 3 seconds. So 1, 2, 3. And that's what I'm going to do. And then you set up your pins again. And you keep playing. And you can keep score as you go. So you can write down a piece of paper, or if you have a printer at home, you can find a bowling score sheet you can print off. So we went 3 and 3 for 6. And just keep doing that, and each time draw a different exercise card. Forever how many pins you knock over, that's the number of that exercise you do. So say on our next turn I knock down 5 pins, and then I draw squats. So now I have to do 5 squats. Then on the next ball, say I knock down 2 more pins, I draw another card. This one is push-ups, so I would have to do 2 push-ups. Then we write our score down. That's 7. So now we have 13, and just keep score and have fun. So I hope you enjoyed this little bit different Kids in Motion game. I hope you enjoy bowling as much as I do. Go out if you can. Have your parents take you to a bowling alley if you can, and just have fun. Thanks, and we'll see you next time. Bye.